Hey everybody, I'm Pat. Welcome to Storytellers Tales, and today we'll be delving into Dungeons & Dragons to answer the top 10 most asked questions by beginning players. Either be new or just need a refresher, I've got you covered, so let's dive on in. First up, what is Dungeons & Dragons? Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game where you and your friends build characters to go on epic adventures together. One person, the Dungeon Master, or the DM, guides the story along while the rest of you take on roles of heroes and sometimes villains in a fantasy world that's all about teamwork and, yes, rolling dice. Let's talk about character creation. Character creation is where the magic truly begins. This is where you get to pick what race you are from the many selected races in Dungeons & Dragons, such as elf, human, or dwarf. Then you'll be moving to select from the many classes that are in Dungeons & Dragons, such as fighter, rogue, or wizard. Then you'll be moving to select what your weaknesses and strengths are by rolling ability score stats. You'll be placing your highest rolls in your strengths and your lowest rolls in your weaknesses. Then comes the fun part where you're going to be building your backstory, background, personality, and who your character is. On to question number 3. What do I need to play? Well, you're going to need a few basic things. Player's handbook or access to one. Set of polyhedral dice, a character sheet, and most of all, your imagination. However, if you're playing online, a few platforms and websites can really help out in this, such as D&D Beyond and Roll20. Up next is, what is a Dungeon Master? A Dungeon Master is the storyteller referee guide who plays all of the non-player characters, also known as NPCs, and creates the world and tells all of the details based around your actions and your party's actions. They're the main ones who push the story forward and build up the adventure with you. Alright, on to question number 5. How does combat work? Combat is turn-based where players and enemies take turns to act. Your dice rolls will determine how successful you are on your attack, your spell, or other action. The storyteller, or DM, will set the scene, and it'll be up to you on what you and your character will do. On to question number 6. What is an ability score and how does it affect my character? Well, an ability score is a set of numbers that you have rolled to determine what your strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma are. These stats affect what you do in game, such as if you want to lift heavy weights, dodge an attack, or persuade an NPC. On to question number 7. What's the difference between race and class? Well, race will determine what species you are. That comes along with different traits such as dark vision, extra movement speed, where class determines what your character does. Are they a spell-slinging wizard, a sneaky rogue, or a sword-wielding fighter? Question number 8. What are hit points and how do they work? Hit points, or HP, is your character's health. Every time you take damage in combat, this number will go down. If it falls to 0, you go unconscious, and might even die depending on what happens next. Question number 9. How do I roleplay? Roleplaying is all about getting into your character's head and acting like them, speaking like them, thinking like them, and making choices based on their goals, their background, and their personality. It's what makes D&D so immersive and fun. Question number 10, the last question. Where do I go to play D&D? Well, this can be answered by many ways. You can go to your local game store, and they might even have an open spot and ready for new players. You can pick up the books yourself and run a game for you and your friends or your family at home. Or you can go online. There are several Discord sites, Facebook sites, and other places that are a great place to find tables that are looking for new players or even willing to start one with you. Well, it's the last question, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I hope I helped some of you. If you want to learn more or find out more about Dungeons & Dragons, we have 2 shows going on, Grand Quest and Out of the Abyss. They are wonderful places to learn D&D and to watch some interesting adventures that myself and our wonderful friends are putting together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.